Greetings everyone, Brett here with Hammerhead Model Making, back with another 5-minute review. Today we're going to be looking at the Meng Merkava Mk.4M. This kit for review was kindly supplied by MRS Hobby Shop. Please check out their information down in the description below. So let's go ahead and take a dive into what the Meng kit has to offer. Now, as I understand it, this is not a brand new tooling, only new parts added to this kit. However, this is my first time taking a look at it, and it's actually my first time taking a look at a Meng armored vehicle. The first sprue out of the box was this nice little sprue with the M250 caliber on it. Looks like it's got some nice slide molded detail with the gun barrels, and then this rather unique molding of the actual receiver unit itself. And very, very nicely, very clean, very crisp looking molding on this. And I think that would build up into a nice looking representation of the weapon. Taking a look at the upper hull, we have a lot of nice detail, including non-slip texture on the kit. Throughout, the detailing here is very nice and very sharp and very crisp, and it looks like there's been also slide molding here as well, with detail on the other side. The only thing I found interesting was the very large ejector pin marks on this. Those will all have to be trimmed up and cleaned off. Here we have some separate pieces for what I believe are the drive wheels, but they could be the idler wheels. I'm not 100% sure. Here is the upper turret. Again, just like with the upper hull, the detailing here is very nice, very crisp, and well detailed. Plus you get all that nice non-slip texture interspersed with all the rest of the detail. Very nice. Lower portion of the turret also has a lot of detail on it as well, so they're definitely not missing out there. Here we have a set of sprues that has all of your road wheels, side skirt, suspension details. There is a little bit, I can't tell if it's flash or just a slip in the molding, but there is a noticeable step in a lot of these parts, especially if you look closer to the coil springs, which I'll show a picture of later on in the video. There are 3 identical sprues of this particular one. Here we have what I believe is the new sprue to this kit, and that is the slat armor that goes over the turret. The overall quality here is nice. It does feel slightly overly thick. I'm not sure if a photo etch part would be more appropriate, but I'm not very familiar with this vehicle. Here we have portions of the lower turret or lower hull. Sorry, it is multi-part, and so that does have to be put together. It's not like a bathtub style. I think my biggest issue with this kit is going to be the gun barrel. It does come in 2 parts, and that appears to me like it's going to be really difficult to clean up mold lines on that, just with all of the raised and lowered and detail on that. It seems like it'd be a lot of trouble. So I don't know if there's any aftermarket options available for that, but that might be worth looking into. You do get a clear sprue with vision blocks on it, additional sprue with details. You got the commander's cupola here, where all the vision blocks would go into. The whatever those fabric cover parts, they look really nice. The texture is really nice. The folds look realistic, and all the little like chain and ball parts that go on the back end of the turret look really nice. Drive sprockets and just additional hull pieces here going on. Everything, all this part looks really nice. There's a little bit of flash on it, and again, I don't know so much if it's flash or just like a slight misalignment of the mold. But you'll see in some of the close-up pictures what I'm talking about here. And then finally, we do get link track. They are 2-part, track pieces. You have to put basically a top and a bottom part together. You do not get any length of track. Here we have a small bag that has photo etch, wire, chain, and cable, as well as the decals. So that all looks really nice. And then finally, we can take a look at the instructions. So the instructions are pretty straightforward. You start with the lower hull, suspension, road wheels, all of that, and then you get to this part where the track goes on. And the reason why I was flipping back and forth because I was looking for where the actual track assembly guide is, and it's literally just a one little blurb where you put the 2 halves together on top of the part before it, and then you just continue the run like that. So interesting way of doing it. It is what it is. The rest of the build seems pretty straightforward. You do get 2 options for markings, and there we go. So looks like a decent build. The photo etch is nice. The detailing is very nice, very sharp, very crisp. I do like the inclusion of the non-slip texture. The slat armor seems a little overscaled to me, but Again, I'm not super familiar. Here you can see some of the details closer up, and you can kind of see in some of these pictures where I mentioned before there's that little bit of like a slip with the molding where they didn't quite line up all the way, and so it looks like it's going to cause a little bit of cleanup issues. The rest of the parts seem pretty nice. Here's a good example of that slight slip with the molding there, with the seam line that'll need to be cleaned up. The and the independent. So I guess these are the return rollers. They have a lot of flash on them. That's going to be a lot of cleanup on those. But anyways, you can check out this kit at mrshobby.com.